Sure. Again, on the same trend, you get more vinyl printing, and then you get a bit of demand on the roll-to-roll printers. Likewise, on flatbed. Look, and we're going to touch on packaging in a second, but we see a lot of new application that can be done on flatbed, whereas flatbed was not designed for these applications, simply because the volume came down and suddenly prototyping is important, small runs, short runs, and then suddenly these slow flatbeds are capable of doing these kind of applications. So that's pretty much along the same trend. Huh? So more vinyl printing, but also a lot more prototyping, volumes coming down, and therefore more applications coming onto the flatbed printers. At least that's what we see for us in our business.
Thanks, Philip. Ayman, what do you think of the topic?
I think last year actually it was a little bit not clear here. Sometimes, and I think towards Q4 market started to pick up a bit. As I mentioned, we witnessed some good volume in toner based production, because as I mentioned, the lower or shorter runs of offset traditional made many customers think about adopting digital printing, and they started with toner based because it's relatively low investment and low risk, because again the customer is not willing now to take big risks. But when and actually this helped us, to be honest, as Canon, especially in this professional printing area and large format area, to gain good market share in that area. But we witnessed that beginning of 2021, despite the second wave, there is a positive view. We found like customers are more willing to take decision now. Good demand in, especially in roll to roll. Last year, roll to roll 1.6 market dropped by around 32% as per InfoSource. However, the volume from our what we witnessed for our direct operations, at least the volume grew compared to 2019, and that shows that customers has volume, but they are reluctant to take decision now in 2020. But we found that those customers started to think in 2021 with positive view. As you know, in our region, we are having Expo is confirmed. The steps that many of the Gulf countries is taking is trying to give confidence to customers, like we are recovering, we are coming back. I think UAE is doing a big job here, trying to push event like GITEX to give confidence to the customer that we are going back to that normal, taking all the required measures. But this gives 2021 customer more positive hope to start investing, to take opportunity of the coming big events like Expo, World Cup, and so many big activities coming, especially in the Gulf area. So I see 2021 is coming hopefully in a positive way so far, Jan and Feb. I see a good demand in flatbed because as well in this year, because interior decoration was one of the growing area, because learning from home and working from home, we got bored of our home after sitting almost 12 months at home. So people started to change or to think about starting from fine art, changing the fine art that they see every day, to changing their wallpaper, to changing their decoration folly. So that put good applications and good volume actually for interior decor business. And people started to change houses. I found during, especially in Dubai, I changed my house during the pandemic. Actually, after I spent like almost 7-8 months inside the house, I changed it. So many people I found even good in the furniture business. It's out of scope, but I noticed that furniture business during the pandemic, I thought like this might be the worst affected business. I found that good transaction because people are trying to change. So that drove some volume for wallpaper, for roll-to-roll, I think significantly. Flatbed as well to print in different kind of substrates for decoration. It drove some good application and volume. So I think those areas I witnessed, yani, especially beginning of 2021, people are willing to take some serious action towards investing in those products.
Halim, what do you think? What buying trends did HP notice?
See, from our side, I can say as HP, we have always, you know, there are always tools, solution we use to adapt to every situation, like the situation what we currently or recently faced. For example, we have the first hybrid latex with the brightest white in the market we introduced, and it's doing good. We also has a big portfolio of product going from flexible roll to roll, rigid cutting solution. So this can assign or can address any needs currently available in the market, and definitely open a new application for the PSPs or for the end user. But in general, I can say it's all moving, selling, you know, based on the current requirement.
Thanks, Halim. So since we all agree here that the applications of large format printing are growing every day, in fact, as Ayman said, there are applications that we did not even expect to grow during the pandemic, but they did. So considering small businesses, do you think hybrid is the way to go forward instead of a dedicated roll-to-roll or a flatbed?
It's a space saving. Yeah, it's a space saving measure. It's a bit cheaper to invest into hybrid as opposed to 2 units. But you know, you still have people who would always tell you, look, a flatbed has to be real flat and a roll-to-roll has to be real roll. And then others who don't have that big of a volume who can do it. But it certainly saves space. Huh? It's nowadays real estate is still expensive.
Absolutely. What do you think, Shihab?
Yeah, actually, we can divide it into two actually when you look at the customers. I mean, what the customer demand and to follow the demand, as the gentleman mentioned, like some of the segment it's a requirements and you have to fulfill the market requirement. And the other part, which is really important, is how to create a demand and how to understand the market need, because we are here as an expert, as a consultant in the market. We should advise the customer what to do, how they can save money on the long run, how they can move from a technology to a technology, for example, even in one brand, actually. I'm not saying, for example, to shift from brand to brand. Maybe in the same brand, as Philippe mentioned, for example, saving maybe money by having a hybrid product instead of having two, or having a print and cut in one machine instead of having two machines, or having two machines is more effective. So if you notice, like we can mention a lot of examples how we can create a demand for a customer by giving them something new, a new solution. And actually, we've been also in a crisis in 2008, not that bad, but I was also in Epson during that time, and I noticed that we really survived during this crisis without even a drop in any business, and we grew in most of the business segments when it's coming to the commercial and industrial product. And the reason, because at that time we launched a lot of product and solution, as Halim mentioned. So launching a new product and new solution to the customer, of course, this is not coming in one day. I mean, we're not gonna think about a product yesterday and we launch it tomorrow. It is part of a lot of analysis in the market and the market need, the market demand. And this is exactly the same happened with us in Epson. And I think all the gentlemen, they will agree as well. We are part of our innovation and research and development. It's happening over years. We expected somehow how the market trend is going and which direction. Of course, we didn't expect COVID to happen and change this everything in that fast and this pace, I would say. But we are expecting how the shift in the market. So as we mentioned at the beginning, the conversion from the conventional to digital, it is all of us, we agree. I mean, and all of us are digital printing owners, I would say, or technology owners. So therefore, the digital printers became very important. Maybe, as I said, it's just to speed it up. So we launched a lot of product in the last 6 months or 8 months. It was, to be honest, a big year when it's coming to our product. And we launched product in two directions actually. Product to replace the very high volume and print volume production machines and conventional to convert to digital, and also from a very low level, as I mentioned like a few minutes ago, when it's coming, for example, to home users or business from home, very small and medium offices where they require a very low investment in new technology, and to get the same result of the very, let's say, proper large format or proper production machine, to have it on a smaller investment, smaller size, smaller scale, as Philippe mentioned a couple of times, that people, they look maybe for a lower print volume, lower production, but giving them the same results. So they don't want to sacrifice in quality and to the, let's say, the final product or the final output, but they will they maybe they sacrifice on speed because there's not that the same volume available like last year it's available now. So I think our success, and we can go through this crisis, is by always offering a solution better than just offering a product. Following the demand, of course, which is important, but in my opinion, the most important thing is to create a demand and to understand the market need from marketing point of view, from a sales point of view, and how we can adapt these together and give them a solution that will help them in their business. One of the points I just mentioned at the beginning is, for example, sustainability or green product. This is a topic that maybe it was not really highlighted before enough in our region, and I would say especially some countries in our region, they are not even mentioning it at all. And today it's becoming important because the health now is becoming really important. I mean, we stayed at home for almost 3 months or 4 months, like, or the whole world are fully shut down, and we saw the impact on our health, the impact on our environment. Some of the countries even look better actually when you look at it, because it's cleaner, there is no cars, there is no pollution happening in some of the city. And to be honest, we cannot ignore that. I mean, people, they start thinking about sustainable product, they're thinking about a green product, and we saw a lot of requests from the customers about how green this product. Can we have this certificate or that certificate to mention that we can use this print here or we can use it there? How we can save energy in our house? Because again, energy is money end of the day, so it's a cost for any industry. So instead of operating a huge machine with a huge industry, how they can save this by offering a new technology or a smaller size or converting to a digital from conventional. So we saw a lot of requirements from the customer, different requirements. Therefore, I cannot say only this segment is good and this segment is bad. And it's keep changing depending on what you're offering to the customer and how you adapt to the customer.